Hey guys, so welcome to MK's Loudmouth. Once again, I am mkiTV. If you guys could please subscribe to my video. If you do enjoy it, give me a thumbs up. I'd be very thankful. I want to go into the tournament we're going to see today, in fact, already in a few hours. DreamHack Austin 2016. It is looking to be a fantastic tournament. But I really want to go over some of the storylines at this event because it is more than just the Counter-Strike Global Offensive tournament they're holding. It's also this entire LAN party that is surrounding it. So I want to say this event should be considered to be a big deal, huge deal. It is, the Swedish organizer DreamHack has finally made its way to American soil. This is the first North American event, so it has taken very long for DreamHack to get on over across the ocean. But in fact, something which is cool about this event at DreamHack Austin is it's not this event. It's not in New York. It's not in California. It's not in on one of the coasts where it could be considered a little more globalized, a little more relaxed, a little more I don't know, wishy-washy, mishmash, whatever. No, it's Texas. Like it's the South. It's the United States in its most radical form, and that's awesome. It's awesome that we're seeing, a major tournament organizer take a tournament into Texas. It's going to be amazing to see the crowd there, which is this true American crowd, experience a huge LAN tournament. And the question here is, and why I'm asking, why I'm considering this to be a big deal, but why I'm also saying that it's a big test is, can DreamHack find some type of formula to put on a successful show for the Lone Star State and achieve the same success it has in Sweden? Because the same things that work in Sweden might work in Texas, who knows? But I mean, I'm sure they've done their research, but they might not as well. And you can't do all of the same things in Texas to ensure, all the interaction as you do in Sweden. So I mentioned that this is more than a eSports tournament, that this is more than just Counter-Strike Global Offensive. The cool thing, another cool thing about DreamHack Austin is they're bringing over the LAN party. So this isn't just, part of the eSports of DreamHack where they're holding a tournament, whatever, 12 of the best teams in the world or 8 of the best teams in the world come on over and play and then leave. No, they're holding, a bring your own computer, BYOC LAN party. And that's awesome as well. This is where DreamHack built its name, really, from these huge LAN parties in Sweden. And this is a big opportunity for DreamHack, for the United States, for all parties involved, for esports, grassroots, for the teams, the organizations, the sponsors, DreamHack itself, of course, their investors, because this could be proved to be a gold mine for all parties involved. If this tournament is successful, then DreamHack might think about making this an annual event. Maybe not necessarily in Texas every year, but maybe in Texas every year. Maybe, Texas every year, and then some other places in the United States, as a tour around, as we see that, we have DreamHack Winter always in the same place in Sweden, and then we see all these other places, like in France and in Spain, we've seen tournaments pop up from DreamHack. So who knows? It could really prove to be a market DreamHack wants to enter. And while this is, of course, great for DreamHack, they will make a ton of money off of it if it does end up being a big success. It's also a huge deal for North American esports because it's going to help grow the gaming culture, the entire, stigma of overcoming that we're not just sitting in our basements. Well, esports hasn't been there in a while, but now we're moving out and we're going outside. We're meeting each other somewhere else. For instance, if 500 people all of a sudden say, what, we want to play games, but we want to play games in the same room as the rest of our friends at a huge LAN party that has all this backing from mainstream media, that can be a big deal for growing the grassroots scene, making sure that these younger players know what a LAN event is and have the experience at a LAN event and look forward to these LAN events, and they want to grow as they see other professional teams at these events compete at the highest level. So this could be huge for the competition level, I think. if it turns out to be a success, but also obviously for businesses as well, sponsors, organizations, teams, etc. But let's not dwell too much time on that. We're already 5 minutes in, and we haven't even talked about the esports tournament, which is probably what everyone is most interested in. So let's get to the important bit. And the first thing that has to be noticed at DreamHack Austin, no European teams. Not at all. Not one is present, which is very interesting, very weird, considering that the tournament is quite a big deal. That's first off. And second off, that most tournaments want to have European teams. They want this mix of teams from South America, Asia, Europe, especially since it's the strongest scene at the moment. And this tournament, not so much. We're saying American teams only. I mean, I'm just talking about America as North America, South America. So 2 Brazilian teams and 6 teams from the United States. Not sure if there's a Canadian one. I didn't see any Canadian flags there. There are a few Canadian players, of course, but the teams themselves don't advertise as such. And I for once am not angry at this. I'm looking forward to seeing the best American teams compete against each other to name their own champion. And I'm extremely excited for this. For once, I think I'm not a big fan of having events that only include one region, but for this event, I'm extremely excited, and I can't wait because it seems like all the teams worth mentioning are here. I mean, a notable absentee is Complexity. Who knows? I mean, obviously, if they deserve to be here, they would be here, so I'm not losing any sleep over that. But the question for me is, will this be continued Brazilian dominance on North American soil? Because we see 2 Brazilian teams present. Could have, Brazil has many more teams, so there could have been other teams here that haven't been so dominant recently. But the 2 Brazilian teams that are here are Luminosity, so no introduction needed. They have won the latest major, so they can still consider themselves the hottest team in Counter-Strike Global Offensive at the moment. Have seen a drop of form, of course, but it has to be considered that they play against the world's best competition on a regular basis. This is still a team that is the favorite coming into this event. Hands down, can't be negated. But the other Brazilian team, Tempo Storm, I mean, they've been putting up good results recently, and everyone's been saying, these are the young guys, and they've finally broken out and started playing better. But they haven't won an event. They haven't done anything crazy. They haven't? Well, Sebo Gfinity Professional, Season 9. They won the event, showing fantastic form. So we know that they can win an event. We know they can go all the way. We know they're in good form because this was the most recent LAN event. So these 2 Brazilian teams will make it very difficult for the other North American teams present, because the defending major champion and the champion from the previous big LAN event, that's a big deal. And I'm a little worried for the North American teams because of the following reasons. And mainly it's roster changes, in that the majority of these teams, either they have a stable 5, but they've only had it for a month or 2, or they're attending without their main roster. So let's go into them. Splice, obviously, they are attending with 2 stand-ins. So Summit, who is a full-time streamer, mentioned that he's retiring, and this is him going out with a bang probably. And he announced this yesterday, so he's been practicing for this event a day or 2. So that's how much time they've had to practice with Summit to get all their smokes down and whatever. And that's how much time Summit has been grinding to get back into the game. So not much. Definitely not enough. And their second stand-in is Freakazoid, who could be considered that's actually something that makes him stronger. However, the same thing goes. You have to look at Counter-Strike in other terms than that. And if it would be only North American teams, then okay, maybe it would make them stronger. But you have Luminosity, you have Tempo Storm, and having a roster change so close to the event itself will not make you stronger, because Luminosity is a team. Big T, they're a team, they play together. Tempo Storm, same thing. It's not a bunch of individuals who can frag. Sure, it is that, but it's also this group of individuals who know how to play together. They know how to work together to create the best possible result. And they will know how to counter individual play coming out from a team like Splice, where almost, where 40% of their team is from an outside source that hasn't been playing with them for very long. So that's Splice. That's one team I'm worried for because they've had recent roster changes. Team Liquid, same thing. Simple left. Their coach left. Not much was known. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. They had a great result at the major, and all of a sudden, immediately they have changes. So they haven't had a stable 5 for very long either. Cloud9. Cloud9's playing with a stand-in. So once again, how do you expect to do well when you have these other teams that are in great form, and you're attending probably the most important event so far this year in North America with stand-ins? Selfless. Selfless have only had 1 month to practice with their roster. They recently picked up 2 additional players in March, but I mean, it's the very beginning of May, so they've had a month, if that, to play together as a team. So also very worried for Selfless. So what does this mean? It means that the only 2 teams that are fielding stable rosters here are CounterLogic Gaming and NRG, and the Brazilian teams, of course. So let's focus on North America. Only 2 teams here are fielding 2 stable rosters. And now we have to take away NRG, because NRG, their most recent tournament, like big tournament, was Counterpit in Croatia. And they didn't attend that event with their stable 5-man roster. They attended it with a German stand-in. So once again, roster issues. If it's not roster issues, then it's commitment issues, because they have to do other things. And I'm seeing a trend here, and I hope you guys are seeing it as well, and that's the fact that these teams are either changing their rosters all the time, because how else do you explain, let me count, Splice, Team Liquid, Cloud9, Selfless, NRG, 5 teams. How do you explain the 5 out of 8 best of America's teams are consistently changing their roster? This isn't like a coincidence that suddenly all the teams in America, have changed their roster. And any excuses that it's because the major ended and there have been shuffles like Dota and the International, I don't buy it for a second. So that is a problem for me. And it's a problem for DreamHack Austin, and it's a problem for the future of North American Counter-Strike if they can't keep their stable rosters. CLG. CLG is the one team, in my mind here, that has been able to have a stable team with 5 members, and that's a shame. It's just a shame that out of all of these teams, only CLG can be really predicted to pull an upset, to win this tournament, to place second, to place third, I guess. I expect them to place third. That's the place that I would, based on my logical reasoning, put them at. However, hopefully, because it would be great to see more, US teams pop up as solid contenders, we will see CounterLogic Gaming place first, place second. That would be awesome, especially on home soil. It would be amazing. So as I mentioned, very worrying that we're seeing a stable trend that these teams are changing their rosters. And just to sum things up a little bit, we're going to be closing the video here. It seems like the North American teams just haven't given themselves a chance to perform here. Luminosity, Tempo Storms, top level teams, as in some of the best teams in the world, definitely Luminosity, Tempo Storm getting there. And we know that Tempo Storm's in form. We know that Luminosity can beat the best teams in the world. Meanwhile, we're seeing the only stable roster in NA is CLG. We're talking about stable roster, let alone roster that has accomplished something big. So I'm skeptical on the eSports front, on the tournament front, because of these reasons. To end with a positive note, I think DreamHack Austin is going to be an incredible event PR-wise and media-wise. I think it will be the biggest North American event we will have seen. I think it might be bigger than the major. I wasn't very impressed with the production quality at MLG Columbus. I thought the tournament was great, the play was great, but the production value, the media behind it, and everything like that, I was a little disappointed. I was expecting a lot more. Meanwhile, DreamHack has shown that they put on awesome tournaments, and I'm expecting this to be the best event in North America this year, or at least so far. Also, I'm expecting this event to really prove to the world that North America can put on a fantastic event with the entire fans present, with the LAN party especially. I'm looking forward to that, to seeing how that ends up proving that North Americans can also, grow their scene from the grassroots up to the most professional level. So I'm very happy that DreamHack is in Austin. I'm extremely excited for this event for the reasons I have mentioned. And hopefully you all watch it. Obviously, DreamHack starts today in a few hours. So in Europe, it starts at 1 a.m. on the 5th of May. So in, I don't know how many hours. I don't want to do the math at the moment, but 9 hours, I think. And however, whatever time in the US, on the 4th of May in the United States. So great tournament. I urge you all to watch it. And I also urge you guys to watch my videos in the future. So if you do want to catch some of my other thoughts, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And be sure to give me a thumbs up on this video if you do enjoy it. My social media is right here as well, so you can follow me on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Twitch. And I'll be back with another video on Friday, guys. So thank you for watching.